is W3L Network Special Edition of Remedy 2019. I'm Joe Fordyce here to call all the action. And before we get underway with our first match, let me quickly thank our fantastic sponsors, Cushies and Crafty Connoisseur. We couldn't have done it without them. Get in touch with them and show them some love. Tell them that W3L said hello. Well, as you can see, we are in the Carnegie Leisure Centre in Dunfermline. It's February the 23rd, 2019, and the bell sounds to kick off our opening contest of Remedy. It's the returning Jason Reed in the blue trunks taking on Saqib Ali. Now, Jason Reed hasn't been in W3L since May of last year, and it's partly due to the man he is facing here today. This is part of the reason why Reed was so adamant he wanted to face either Saqib Ali or Prince Assad. And if you remember that match back in May, Reed and Kevin Williams were the tag team champions. Saqib Ali going for a handful here right away. And on that event, it was Assad and Ali that defeated Reed and Williams to win the tag team championship. This was Reed and Williams' second tag team reign. The first one lasted a mere 2 minutes, thanks to a golden ticket cashing. So Saqib took very proud, and they were loved being tag team champions, but unfortunately their reign came to an end thanks to Assad and Ali, and Jason Reed needed time out to refocus. He needed to go off it and make himself great again, and try and make wrestling great again. So he's been away from W3L working on himself and other things this season. I think arguably the very best shape he's ever been in, and so he has now returned to the World Wide Wrestling League here in 2019. As I say, he wanted to face either Assad or Ali in the opening contest here at Remedy, and he's got Saqib Ali hitting with that neckbreaker. Of course, Saqib, the last sort of fight for life. He and Assad still trying to win the tag team championship back. Reed flipping up and over. And hits the Calvin recliner early. Wow, he's going to end this one quickly, it looks like. But Saqib Ali kicks out, maybe a little too early for that move, quite frankly. He's won a lot of victories here in W3L with the Calvin recliner. So yeah, it was Assad and Ali back at Resolution last year, lost the tag titles to TJ Rage and Krygar. If you watched the Fight for Life Network special we put up, then you will have seen that they challenged them in the rematch, but couldn't quite go their way. So Assad and Ali still have the tag team championship on their mind, but he was Saqib Ali in a rare singles outing in W3L. They're just yelling at the audience. Referee counting them out, and hang on, Saqib Ali's wandered off. He may have headed back to the entranceway. That's exactly what he's done. Look, he's heading out the building. He's leaving. And here comes Jason Reed going right after him and throws him back. Jason Reed wants to get a victory here. This is his return to W3L. He wants to do it in an emphatic fashion. I know he's been paying attention. And oh, Saqib Ali's ended up sitting on the lap of somebody in the crowd. And Reed hits a forearm. Does that count as outside interference? Well, the referee's not calling it as that, so we'll assume that's just a byproduct of the situation. This crowd's filling it behind Jason Reed. Understandable, considering he is from Dunfermline. This is his home venue, if you like. And he's got things firmly going his way, but he knows not to underestimate Saqib Ali. And just to say that, he hits the hot shot. Jason Reed charged in, got dropped throat first across that top rope, and there's a lot of tension in those ropes in the W3L ring. There's not a lot of giving them. Now Reed being throttled. Saqib Ali seems to have turned the tide, it looks like. You don't become a two-time tag team champion in W3L without the skills to back it up. In their first reign, nearly 4.5 months, he and Assad reigned, dropping titles to Jody Fleisch and Johnny Storm at Resolution 11, and the great and the good of pro wrestling have lost to Jody Fleisch and Johnny Storm, so there's no shame there. And their second reign was around 4 months, before, as I mentioned before, they lost to TJ Rage and Krygar. So there's some tag team animosity in this contest. But of course both men perhaps looking at a singles title opportunity. The Wrestling Showdown Championship will be determined in this half of Remedy, got the Heavyweight Championship in the second half. So who knows how the landscape of W3L is going to be at the end of this event. Perhaps Saqib's thinking maybe they'll go for a singles title, who knows. The avalanches Jason Reed, snapmares him straight in for a cover. Nice sequence of moves. Keeps firm control of Jason Reed, hits the avalanche, a snapmare, and then immediately in a cover. Saqib Ali spent a good bit of last year travelling around the country competing for All-Star. And if you know anything about All-Star wrestling, you know that they run countless amounts of shows, at some points around 7 days a week, all over the UK. Arguably they put more shows than anybody else, and so it's benefited Saqib Ali no end. Not just because he gets to work in different locations and compete against different talent, he can go for another cover, but he's going to have worked with some really experienced people who have picked their brains and who have learned from them, so it's made him all the better, and he was good anyway, and now he has upped his game. Back over to Jason Reed. Sometimes I think in wrestling it's just confidence. That's all that you need. If your confidence can grow, then your chance of winning increase as well. Jason Reed firing back a couple of forearms. He's certainly no slouch either. He's always had potential since the first day he appeared in W3L. Again, the majority of his career has been the tag division here in the World Wrestling League, but his singles contests have been pretty impressive. This was Blondie Barrett, one-on-one. This is Joey Legend, one-on-one. So I mean, he's faced some big names, faced some top talent. He's always given a good accounting for himself, and he's back to show exactly what he can do. Saqib Ali just having his way with him. He's picking his shots. Oh, but he took a bit too long, joined with the crowd, and Jason Reed knocks him down. You don't want to give him an opportunity. You open a window for Jason Reed and he will come through it. Probably a couple of forearms. And even a jumping knee lift. And slams down Saqib Ali. Something new from the Jason Reed playbook. Toys me away, making himself great again, learning some new things. Doesn't quite put him away, but Jason Reed is beginning to gather some momentum, turn the match in his favour. Remember, this is the opening contest of Remedy. Got lots more action ahead. As I said, the Wrestling Showdown Championship will be defended a bit later on. We've also got Craig Stevens and Mike Musso next. It's going to be a lot of fun. Saqib Ali stomping on the back of Jason Reed's head. He's going to pin him here, and Jason Reed kicks out. Now Ali's ended matches with that, just stomping Reed back of the head, face first at the canvas. And Saqib Ali joining with the crowd, set up as a 3, almost like desperation here, saying no, she's going to 3, she's going to 3. But Jason Reed kicked out, the referee saw it. Very attentive as well, if the slightest movement as it pertains to the shoulder lifting off the canvas, and he knows he's always right in there. Very good suplex. Oh no, fisherman suplex. Reed got out of it, comes off the ropes, and hits the banter boot out of nowhere, flies through the air, folds up Saqib Ali, covers him, and gets the pinfall victory. What a great way to kick off Remedy 2019 in his hometown. What a great way to kick off his return to W3L. Jason Reed with a big victory over Saqib Ali, hits the banter boot out of nowhere, and he doesn't need to set it up. One shot and you're done, and Saqib Ali has rolled out the ring and hit the floor. But Jason Reed in his return to W3L gets a victory. Fantastic for him. What a great way to kick off Remedy 2019. Remember to check out Wrestling Showdown every Sunday at 12 PM on the W3L Network. Exclusive matches, news about our live events, and more besides. The Remedy continues here, ladies. Oh, Craig Stevens taking on Mike Musso and going straight after him. Now, we saw this at Fight for Life back in December. Again, if you watch the W3L Network Special Edition, you'll have seen those two in action on it. And Craig Stevens went after Musso right away then, and it looks like it's a repeat here. Craig Stevens trying to get the jump on the merchandise, but not quite going his way, it looks like. Now these two men do know each other pretty well. They've fought a bunch of times before. And the bell finally ringing. Craig Stevens getting the better of Mike Musso here. Going in the corner with those stomps. Again, Fight for Life was the last time we saw them battling. Before that, they met in October of 2018 in a singles contest. And they also met at Broxburn at the end of last year. And Musso's always managed to get the victory so far anyway, just due to his massive experience level that he has. As he vaults over Craig Stevens, ducks that clothesline, and a hip toss. It's vintage Musso, and it could spell the end of the contest, but doesn't quite yet. Craig Stevens immediately gets out of the ring. Wise move, can't be pinned out there. And just like we saw in the previous match with Jason Reed, Mike Musso's so popular. Oh, Stevens gets his face run into the turnbuckle, and then we're going to get the other side, it looks like. Oh, wait a minute. Stevens broke the contact and snaps Musso's neck in the toe rope. Again, exactly what happened with Jason Reed. He took the hot shot. Musso gets his neck snapped as Stevens falls to the floor. And immediately in for a cover. It's one of the things about Craig Stevens, he's always going for a pin. Always trying to end this match, doesn't get paid by the minute. And he knows the benefit of ending a match early. Because if you give your opponent too much space, if you play the crowd, if you give them the opportunity to recover, they can come back and turn it against you. And we kind of saw that with Saqib and Jason Reed. And we can see here with Mike Musso, all the shots he's taken, he fires back with forearms and knee lifts. Going for a third one. Stevens gets him, and the power of Craig Stevens just stalls him with that back suplex. And like I said, right for recovery again. Stevens' power is not in question at all. He is arguably one of the, if not the, strongest people in W3L. And we've got some strong men. Johnny Lyons, who'll be seeing the main event of Remedy. TJ Rage, Tim Wiley. So many big men with a lot of power. Mike Musso himself. But Craig Stevens, maybe not as tall as some of them, maybe not as thickly built as some of them, but as strong, if not more so. And Musso, he's like 235 pounds. Because he's 6'3", 6'4", his body is so rangy, so difficult to lift. The centre of gravity is different, and the fact Stevens was able just to pick him up and hold him with ease is a really impressive feat, has to be said. You underestimate Craig Stevens at your peril. See Musso grab the ropes. He knows what that's a setup for. It's a double arm DDT. Musso with a Northern Light suplex. Going for the cover. Because a lot of people will say that Mike Musso is all just knee lifts and suplexes, as we see one here. But now and again he'll surprise you, break something out. Always learning. Mike Musso never complacent, hits the big splash. Yeah, he's got stuff that works for him, but when it needs it, he'll surprise you. He's got the crowd firmly on his side. Can he get the victory over Craig Stevens? Of course, Mike Musso and Stevens, and everyone on the show is going to be watching Lyons versus Aldridge for the Heavyweight Championship. How will that affect W3L? Musso coming off. Oh, it took a bit too long. Stevens hit the super kick, goes straight in for the cover, is going to end it. Oh, but Mike Musso kicking out. Went for the clothesline and got caught with the super kick. Musso's got in theory, he has a Heavyweight Championship rematch against Johnny Lyons at some point. He's not cashed it in. The management have basically said when you want it, it's there for you, as long as Lyons is still champion. So we'll see what happens there. He needs to get back in the title picture. It's again, he's got that automatic rematch, but he lose to Luke Aldridge back in January in Wrestling Showdown. And oh, Stevens dumped face first. Was trying like I think a superplex and got dropped, and Musso hits the elbow drop. See again, something he wouldn't have done years ago, but now does. Rolls over Craig Stevens, hooks a leg. But the original powering out. There's only one Craig Stevens. He's the original, he claims. There's nobody quite like him. Remember, he reached the semi-finals of 7 Deadly Sins in May last year. You see that on the W3L Network. He put up a spirited challenge to Johnny Lyons on Wrestling Showdown in November last year. And I mean, Craig Stevens has shown that he's got the tools to be heavyweight champion. Maybe a couple of rough edges once he smooths them over. It's anybody's guess how quickly he'll get that title, but I'm sure he will. And another super kick. great presence of mind, immediately rolls over, hooks a leg on Mike Musso. But once again, the merchandise kicking out. You don't get to be a 5-time heavyweight champion, 3-time tag team champion, without being able to fight back through adversity. And that's exactly what Mike Musso has done. He's not underestimating Stevens at all. And of course, you know, Stevens has learned from all the matches they've had with each other. So they can put into practice what we shall see. And there's the power of Stevens evident again. Picks up Musso, who vaults on his shoulders. Craig Stevens holds him in. A victory roll. Mike Musso rolls up and he scored the pin. Mike Musso just had a victory roll. Though I said before that he's always learning and trying to do new things. When has Mike Musso ever pulled out a victory roll in his life? But he did, surprising Craig Stevens, the crowd, me. Wow! Mike Musso hits a victory roll and pins the original Craig Stevens. That's going to surely aid his cause. He looks for a potential rematch against either Johnny Lyons or indeed Luke Holt, whichever walks through the heavyweight champion in the main event of Remedy. Remember to engage with W3L on all of our social media platforms. Hit up our website, check us out on Facebook and on Twitter. We're on Instagram as well, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for all the latest up-to-date information about the Worldwide Wrestling League. With 4 Tag Team Championship reigns, the Contingency Plan proved themselves to be one of the most dominant units in W3L history. Even in singles contests, Dickie Divers and Taylor Bryden always had each other's backs. But cracks began to appear when both men found themselves in the Wrestling Showdown Championship Tournament. Bryden's interference helped Divers advance to the finals. But Divers' interference backfired spectacularly.
I'm in a great position, and you punched me square in the cooking.
Listen, that's neither here nor there. End of the day,
What do you mean it's not?
either at the end of the day, you were pinned. So now only one of us is in the final, as opposed to both of us.
I'm not sure that was you.
Okay, we need to keep our mind on this tag team match we brought against Mike Musso and Vortex. You went beside down again. I will not be held responsible for my actions. Alright?
I'll hold my end, you hold your end. I'll see.
The Contingency Plan would face Mike Musso and Vortex in tag team action, and although the match started well, it certainly didn't end that way.
Where's Divers?
He's certainly not in here. He's about time you started keeping better company.
Screw you, Musso. Divers!
With revenge on his mind, Bryden would go straight after Divers in the opening round of 7 Deadly Sins, resulting in both men being eliminated. Later that night, both Divers and Bryden would interfere in each other's matches. Causing neither man to advance in the tournament. The former partners would meet at Resolution 12, with Divers' newly won Wrestling Showdown Championship on the line. It looked as if Bryden would finally gain some revenge, but Divers was one step ahead and escaped with the title. With their issues still not settled, Bryden would come to the aid of Kai Balford and make his intentions clear. He wanted Divers one more time and finally it will happen. Divers versus Bryden for the Wrestling Showdown Championship, and it goes down at Remedy. Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The match has been long awaited, especially by that man there in the silver singlet, Taylor Bryden. He and Dickie Divers for years were the best of allies, or worst, I guess, if you were their opponents. But as you've just seen in that video package, it all went sour. The contingency plan is no more. Divers has won the Wrestling Showdown Championship, and we credit him for that. Bryden's been after him, and it looked like at Resolution just last year they were going to settle things, but it was not to be. You saw Divers hit the low blow almost right away. Of course, he got disqualified, kept the title, and he scarpered out the building. I'm told he ran straight out the building, literally ran backstage, jumped into a car and vanished into the night. So Taylor Bryden's been unable to get his hands on him, and it has to be said, he's composing himself really well when you consider all that has happened, that he's not had the satisfaction he craves. The fact he's just standing there waiting for Divers instead of just charging at him says a lot for Taylor Bryden. I think he's been focusing on it. As Divers goes to the floor, just making him wait even longer. Bryden's been focusing on this for so long, I think he reached almost like a zen-like state. Most people would just storm the ring, immediately throwing fists and feet, trying to attack everybody. But instead, Bryden's keeping composed because he knows what Divers is up to. He knows he'll get himself DQ'd in the walkout. He knows Divers will happily get counted out to retain the title. And Bryden not only wants just to defeat Dickie Divers and score a pen or a submission, he wants to get the Wrestling Showdown Championship off him, because that means it's like a double insult. You lost to me and I took your title. Let's not forget that Dickie Divers is the only person to ever hold the Wrestling Showdown Championship in W3L. He won the tournament to inaugurate that championship, and he has defended it ever since, and it's a who's who of pro wrestling, quite frankly. I mean, he beat Mike Musso in the tournament final. He's defended against Joey Legend, looking sharp, and Taylor Bryden at Resolution, but you can't really call that a proper match. Bram, as an Impact Wrestling star, Bram Musso again in a rematch, Kevin Williams, Kevin Williams and Leo King, all robbed by Taylor Bryden, and he's not hanging around. Now, we saw Divers against Kai Balfour on Wrestling Showdown not that long ago. Decided to brutalise him after the match with a chair. Bryden came to the rescue to make his intentions clear. And then, if you want to know just how focused Bryden is, if you watch Showdown and saw him against Daryl Costello, okay, it was a guy, and another rock away. Bryden not hanging around. I mean, it was an emphatic victory, so Bryden just says so close, so close. Because like I said, the way Bryden's composed himself with a lot of other people, they would not even attempt a pin or a submission. They just want revenge. They just want to hurt their opponent as much as they could, and the pin or submission would come later on, almost be like supplemental to what they were doing. But Bryden wants to get that victory, get the belt of Divers, and give him that mental injury, if you like, that you've removed the title. Divers has some sort of stroke of authority. You could argue, being a champion, he holds a place of status in W3L. With that gone, he won't have that anymore. Bryden with some fists, raining down upon the head of Dickie Divers. It's going to be interesting what both men do, because they do know each other really well. And Divers crashes down like a tree. Lumberjack Bryden chopping down the redwoods that is Dickie Divers. Bryden biding his time. Divers is on the floor, just stalling. Here comes Bryden, and drop kicked him right through the ropes. Beautiful move by Taylor Bryden, keeping the offense up. Like we've seen in the previous two matches so far on Remedy, you don't want to give your opponent a moment to recover, especially Divers. That's a big right hand. This match is back and forth. Bryden going for it again, it looks like. Maybe go for a tope instead, I don't know. It's off the ropes. Oh, Bryden gets caught up in the ring apron. A tactic we've seen him employ in the past. Divers traps him and rains down forearms upon him. Divers just saying who's the man, but he needs to stay on Bryden. Divers is unquestionably confident. Oh, hang on, gets catapulted back in. Bad landing for him. And he should be confident considering all the people he's defeated to retain the Showdown title. Divers has held singles titles in other promotions. Oh wait, he's caught Bryden. Oh, and he launches him to the floor. That's a really bad landing. Divers through Bryden, twisted and landed. You can see there's no match on the floor. It's a sports hall, so the wooden floor is solid. Not all softer than W3L ring, but solid nonetheless. And Bryden now landing badly on it. If he isn't careful, if he landed the wrong way, he could have easily twisted an ankle, a knee, something like that, maybe even worse, I don't know. Divers will take the count out. He gets a victory over Bryden, he retains the belt. Bryden's never held singles gold ever anywhere. Divers has, so he knows what it takes to retain a championship in a one-on-one situation. Bryden pulling himself back in. Stomp to the face. Divers picking his spots as they say. And a knee across the face. There's vintage Divers, something he likes to do a lot. And a leg drop this time. He's a talented man as Divers. You may not like his methods and his attitude leaves a lot to be desired, but ability wise he's one of the best. Very underrated as it pertains to certainly Scotland, if not the UK. Bryden throttled on that middle rope. And Divers will not underestimate Bryden at all. He's kind of, if you're looking at the numbers here as Bryden gets out, you can argue Divers has had the better from him in this, you call it a feud, their war or battle for each other. When you saw at 7 Sins, they knocked each other right out of the battle royal instantaneously. Divers smartly attacking Bryden's opponent in the second round, so Bryden got DQ'd. And then yes, Bryden evened the odds, came out, distracted Divers long enough to be pinned by Johnny Lyons, the eventual 7 Deadly Sin winner. And they've only really met one-on-one once since Divers turned on Bryden. So it's that over. That was, of course, was at Resolution. I've detailed what happened there. Cover again. So I think certainly Bryden has a lot of pent-up frustration, and this won't improve his mood any because Divers seems to be controlling this contest. Getting the better of Taylor Bryden, throttling on the middle rope. Arguing with the referee, his decision is final. So Divers is pressing Bryden down on that rope, cutting the oxygen supply off to his lungs, making it harder for Bryden to breathe and concentrate. And Divers really doesn't have to expend a lot of energy in doing that. Lands on him, covers him. But Bryden isn't going to go down without a fight. He's waited far too long to get his hands on Divers. I'm actually surprised he's here. I've expected Divers to call management and complain that he had an ingrown toenail or his car had broken down or something had happened so he couldn't make the show, but he's come here and he's game for a fight against Taylor Bryden, who lands him with a body press out of nowhere there, just nets a 2. I think it took Divers by surprise, manages to kick out at the last minute. He's not going to avoid Bryden this time. They're in the ring one-on-one. Bryden just getting some momentum. Divers ducked a clothesline and boots him in the head. Waist lock. And what a German suplex. Taylor Bryden folded over. Looks like he landed right on his head. Divers going to end this one. But how did Bryden kick out of that? Dickie Divers showing the strength he has. Not a lot of folk don't think he's as strong as he is. He launched Bryden, who folded in half, right in the back of his head. There's Divers going for vertical suplex attempt blocked. And again Bryden, inside cradles him, rolls him up, and no, only a 2. Divers got his shoulder up by a fraction of a millimetre. Remember earlier I said this referee's very good at spotting that kind of thing. Just a millimetre off the canvas, it broke contact and the referee ruled it as a 2. Bryden going to the high rent district, but Divers straight on him, firing away. Bryden being a bit of pain. May have got injured during the German suplex. And taking a superplex off there will not help. Oh, Divers falls down. Bryden's looking a bit slow. I think he's going to hurt. Comes off the ropes. Oh, gets caught with a punch right in the midsection. That'll not clear out his lungs. Oh, right in the back of the skull. Divers super kicks Taylor Bryden. He's going to end it. Covers him. 1, 2. Oh, crucifix! Crucifix! Taylor Bryden rolls up and scores the pin. Taylor Bryden out of nowhere crucifixes Dickie. Divers pins him and becomes the brand new Wrestling Showdown champion. What a fantastic result. Taylor Bryden gets a victory over Divers and takes the title from him. Look at Divers, he is annoyed at that. He is seriously unhappy. His overconfidence, that cocky pin, led to his downfall. And he did everything. The German suplex, super kick to the back of the head. Bryden's away with the belt. Referee's going over to him. We can see him here, and I think he is hurt. We'll try and get word on that. Thank you for joining us at the first part of Remedy. Look out for part 2 coming to you soon here on the W3L Network.